Utah State gets the victory over San Diego State. I just don't get this. This is a fun one, folks. This is one we'll talk about for a while. This might be a podcast-worthy game.
Such a sort of ugly start, a defensive battle all the way through the game, and then as you get into the fourth quarter, it becomes a slugfest and a shootout down the stretch in the overtimes with big play after big play after big play for Utah State to come out of here with the W.
Well, joining us now, Robert Briggs, 9 carries, 59 yards, and a big touchdown to give the Aggies a lead. Robert, kind enough to join us. Robert, how you doing, man? Congrats on the W.
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Well, not as good as you are, man. What a game tonight. Yes, all right, so here's the thing. You go down 7 in overtime, and you're thinking we got to score. You get the touchdown, and then you're right back out on offense. Walk us through that touchdown that you had that gave you guys the lead.
My O-line. I just got to give it to all my O-line and the man above. If it wasn't for the man above, none of this would be possible. So I just want to give glory to him and all thanks to my O-line.
Robert, I got to ask you, what's that locker room like right now? I mean, that's just euphoria in that locker room. Had to be.
It's just joy all around. Everybody happy. I love to see it. Everybody smiling, congratulating everybody. I just love it. We all coming together.
So, okay, look, I'll be honest here. I never played college football. There's a lot of us listening that never played college football. We don't get to experience what you get to experience. We're all insanely jealous. When you cross that goal line in that double overtime, what's that feeling like?
It just felt amazing. I had to give all glory to God. If it wasn't for him, none of it would have happened. And I just want to thank my team for just believing in me and just keeping my head high for me.
What a tough battle, Robert. That San Diego State defense has always traditionally been very, very stout and strong, and they did again tonight. I thought that you guys, you and Devon and Rasul, a great job, 171 yards rushing tonight, and I thought you were especially good in the pass protection. Is that something that you've taken a lot of pride in working on?
Yes, sir. We do take very much pride in that. We try to see who could be like the most toughest in that situation, and they just keep us to compete and just see who could do the best. And we just keep doing it every week.
When it's 4th and 4, and you know you're on the sideline watching your defense, I'm sure you had a lot of confidence that your guys were going to come up and get a stop, right?
All you can do is just put faith in your team, and that's what I did.
I mean, big play after big play tonight, and talk about the resilience, and also you got to give a lot of credit to Cooper Legas, who came in and led you guys there in the second half.
Oh, that guy right there got the best. He's just the best guy around. He always stays positive. He always knows when to come through in the best situation and just keep the team going. He's a leader. And that's what I like him for.
So you're down 7-3 at halftime. The offense is kind of struggling a little bit. What was the message in halftime? Because you got things cooking there in the third quarter.
Oh, he just told us just keep going and just do what we do best, and that's what we did. Just put faith in each other and just keep moving forward. Do not look behind us. Just keep going forward.
So getting this victory now, 4-5, certainly you look at this and say a lot of confidence coming out of this game, and we've got a chance to maybe get it to 5-5 next week and right back in the conversation for bowl eligibility. That's got to be the goal, don't you think?
Yes, sir. We just game by game and just play it out.
So when you give up the lead, you're up 17-7, and all of a sudden you're going into overtime. There's some teams out there after giving up a lead that would be like, oh, geez, like, we just blew it, and they put their heads down and they kind of fold up. What is it about this team that makes you guys so special? Like, no, it's not over. Let's go out and win it.
We just believe in each other. That's all we can do. That's what this team is about. Just believing in each other and just keeping faith and just know what we can do best. We know what kind of team we are. We just got to put our heads to it and just get it done.
Yeah, we can hear it in your voice, Robert, how much this one means to you personally and to the team. And after a bye week and a lot of adversity, and then of course the plane issues last night, talk about the mindset that you guys came into this game with.
Well, look, our coach just told us what was happening. We just all kept a cool head. We just stayed positive. We knew this was going to happen sometime in the year, so we just stayed positive and just played it out and just came to the game prepared.
I know you're on offense, but I know you have appreciation for defense. How much fun was it watching Ike Larson fly all over the field and come up with that pick?
That's my guy. I love to see when the defense go crazy or get a pick, something like that, because I know they're just going to turn up, just get lit. So I love it.
We were kind of calling for that. We thought that Maiden might deliver one up. He didn't until that very moment. And, I mean, you think about all the big plays, the stops on the punt, fake punt, the stops on the fake field goal, and then to finally come up with that INT to seal this game. What was the feeling like on the sideline as you saw him take that one back?
Oh, it was just relief. That's all I can say, relief. It just felt so good to see.
Well, Robert, congrats on the win.
Yes,
Congratulations.
sir.
Heck of a game tonight. Go celebrate. And
Yes, sir.
hopefully the plane works and we can get back to Logan.
Yes, sir. Me too. I hope so, too.
All right, thank you. Robert Briggs, huge run tonight. Utah State gets it done 32-24 as Ike Larson now stepping up to the mic and get a chance to chat with Ike. And it always fun to chat with Ike Larson because this guy came up big play after big play. Ike, how you doing, man? Thanks for joining us.
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, you're doing great, man. I know you're doing great. You deserve it. All right, so we're going to talk about the interception, and deservedly so. But I think you're one of the biggest plays you made was the tackle on the fly sweep because it looked like he was going to get around the edge, and you tracked him down like a heat-seeking missile. Walk me through that play because I think that was just an enormous play in this game.
Yeah, definitely a big play. You know, we're prepared for it, you know, like usual. And then, you know, as soon as he went in motion, you know, safeties made the adjustment. And then I went and made the tackle. And luckily I had my guys working inside out, and I had his edge set on the side by JD or whoever my corner was, Mike. So, I mean, shoot, it all added up in me making the play, but all props to my teammates at the end of the day as well.
And, you know, that – and again, we're going to get to the interception here in just a minute, but in the first overtime, it looked like maybe a little bit of confusion between you and JD that led to their score. And so talk us through that play and then the mindset to say, all right, flush it, let's move on.
Yeah, no confusion with JD. I mean, that was all my fault. I take full blame for that. You know, I messed up the coverage, and you know, they scored a touchdown, unfortunately. So, you know, I take that one. That's my fault. So, you know, all I can do on that is, you know, get in the playbook better and, you know, be able to execute that play when we want to run that play again. So I take the fault for that one.
So after that touchdown, you're down 7-0. Do you say anything to the offense like, hey, give us another shot and we'll make sure that we close it out?
We know the offense, you know, will get the job done. So, you know, we're really just focused on, you know, us, you know, because obviously big play and, you know, props to my teammates helping me, you know, picking me up on the sideline, you know, telling me to shake it off. So it's really just, you know, laser focus on, okay, offense is going to score, we're going to be fine, we got to go out and get a stop. So.
Okay, now let's get to it. What did you see on the interception? You played it, you jumped the route. Walk us through it.
Yeah, so, you know, clump over there at Trio. You know, as soon as he walked off the line and gave me a stutter step, I know he was going to run the out route. We seen it on film, so I just jumped the ball and, you know, picked it. Almost dropped it at the end, but, you know, picked it. And, you know, I thought I scored a touchdown. They said I might have stepped out, but, you know, it all comes down to preparation. You know, just like I said, you know, great teammates. I think Switz also got a hand on the ball, at least a pinky or something, so slowed the ball down a little bit. So just all around great execution for the team.
What is it about this team that, I mean, it's heart-stopping, it's resilience. There's just a unique makeup about this group that allows you to continue to just keep playing.
Yeah. Shoot, man, what I think it really comes down to is, you know, how much we love the game and, you know, how much we want to play for each other at the end of the day. So, I mean, that's the biggest key in football. You know, I think I probably said it before, but, you know, having a brotherhood outside, you know, of practice, outside of the meeting room. So I think it's the fact that we all care for each other that much that we want to see each other succeed. So, you know, we'll lay it all on the line for each other, you know, any day of the week at any time of the night. So.
I know you work on the defensive side of the ball, but Hillstead goes down with the injury, and Coop comes in and plays a really great second half, a really great overtime. You talk about resiliency. That kid's been up and down, you know, in terms of the depth chart all year long. But to come out and be ready to play again, you guys got to love that as a teammate.
Yeah, man. You know, we talked about it in there a little bit after the game. I mean, Cooper, man, like he's a winner. And, you know, it's been up and down. I'm sure Coach A will talk about it. It's been up and down, you know, McCae, Coop. And, you know, Coach A has been hard on both of them, you know, trying to push both of them. So, I mean, it's just the fact that Coop has been locked in, you know, throughout this whole time and has been doing his job. And when the time comes, I mean, shoot, he shows out and he helps us make plays. So, I mean, I got all respect for Coop, man. Like, that's my dog. So I'm just super proud of him. You know, I trust both of them. But, you know, the fact that Coop can come in and, you know, make plays and lead the offense, lead the team since he's the quarterback, like, it's awesome, especially the position that he's in right now.
And, you know, you have to also take a look at your guys' side of the ball. I mean, it looked like, you know, kind of a 4 down most of the game, more simplified sort of approach. You guys stayed base and solid and made this a slugfest. And talk about the mindset coming into this game on the defensive side.
Yeah, man. So we knew they wanted to run the ball. You know, they don't pass the ball too much. Tonight they unfortunately did, and you know it went in our favor. So they kind of went away from their game plan. But you know they don't pass the ball much. So we knew it was going to be a bloodbath. You know, got to strap up and make plays and hit. So we went in with that mindset, and we just kept pushing. Like I said, man, like we just kept pushing to the end, and we came out on top.
So they, look, San Diego State came in averaging about 150 yards, and they still had 120 on the ground, but 60 of it came on that one play. And so overall, you hold them to 3 point. Anytime you hold anybody under 4 point yards to carry, you're having a heck of a night. And after, Fresno State got some yards on the ground and San Jose State kind of pushed your defensive line around a little bit, I thought you guys made a big statement against a really big, strong, physical offensive line and said, no, we're not putting up with this nonsense anymore.
Yeah, our D-line did good tonight. Our linebackers did good. I feel like all around we played pretty well and, pretty calm. So a lot of things to get better on. But a lot of things to get better on. But, I mean, like I said, them coming out and, just we were fighting till the end. So.
Looks like your coach is right there maybe giving you some business. Maybe we need to cut you
Yeah.
loose. Great job sealing this win for Utah State. What a game here tonight.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it, Ike. There he is, Ike Larson. What a game tonight. Utah State gets it done. Wow, how about that? Big, long hug with his coach there at the corner of the end zone.
That is cool.
That's a really special moment.
Yeah.
All right, putting on the headset, Blake Anderson as Utah State gets the 32-24 victory, and the Aggies move to 4-5 on the season. Coach, that was a hug between you and a really special player. That was a cool moment, and I know that that kid means a lot to you, means a lot to the program, and he made a hell of a couple plays tonight.
He made plenty. We're super close and love the man he's turning into. I hate to say kid because he's not. He's growing up right in front of us, and just I think the thing that's really cool is that the last touchdown they scored was a busted coverage, and that was Ike. He busted a coverage, and he came right back and made two of the biggest plays in the entire game. I mean, that's what you love about a guy. He didn't pout about it. He owned it, and he went right out and made plays to help us win. I just love the way he's just developing and continues to grow, and huge piece of our football team, and not just defensively, just in general, and huge piece of the Valley. I mean, I think ain't a place he goes in the Valley they don't know who he is.
Don't you love to play these games where there's never a doubt, Coach? And
Dude, I'm exhausted right now.
How long has it been since you played an OT game?
It's been a while. We haven't had that. I don't remember the last one, and so don't take for granted that our guys, didn't panic. It obviously didn't go perfect, and to have to do what we did and score and then go for two. I don't take that for granted at all. Defense getting the turnover. I mean, we talk about overtime. We put ourselves in that position in practice, but on the road, with all we've been through this season and all the adversity, man, that could have gone really, really badly. I would have loved to finish it in regulation, but it wasn't in the cards. I think we'll learn a ton from this. I think the confidence that you get from that environment right there to be able to finish is huge. And you think about how many young players we have and guys playing their first Division I football. I mean, that one's going to pay off down the road. Maybe not now, but in the future for sure.
You can't say anything about being conservative in this game. You ran a 3rd and 1 on a huge wheel route on a go route for a pass play on the 2-point conversion. Was that the same play you tried to call earlier in the year where Royals ended up running it in for the score?
No, that was a different one. We had similar kind of thoughts. Both of those plays come off of other things that we do a good bit. If you think about one of our biggest run plays tonight was a kind of a handoff to Terrell that got us about 20 or so. And so over the course of the last, 6 games or so, defenses have seen us hand that ball to him. We knew they would be super aggressive, and the ball hung in the air a little bit longer than we wanted to, but felt like it would give us a good shot. The one we ran with Jalen earlier in the year was off of kind of a play I think that defenses have seen a lot, and he made a good ad-lib on it, but both of them were designed to kind of give us a chance to have a run-pass option with really good guys out in space. And I love the fact that Brock went up and yanked it out of the sky.
You know, McCae goes down, and
Yeah.
Coop is ready. And
He was
comes
absolutely
in
ready.
and plays a heck of a second half. Talk about the preparation of that young guy and his ability to come in and again, just keep playing.
Oh, no doubt. That's the I don't normally talk about individuals in the locker room, but I grabbed everybody and pulled them up and told them I could not be more proud of a guy than how he's handled himself. This has been really hard on him. There's been a lot in the media. Everybody's got an opinion about it. And it would have been real easy for him to get very bitter and disgruntled, going through what he was going through. And as I've said before, guys, nobody wanted to be in this situation. Never wanted to replace him in the first place, but we were turning the ball over too much. He and McCae both tonight, we did not turn the ball over. That gives us a chance to win. We weren't as explosive as we've normally been, but we were more efficient in areas that we needed to be. We punted the ball and played field position, and, that gave us a chance to win. Coop has done everything I've asked him to do. He's helped McCae get ready. He's had great practices. He's been upbeat and positive, and I've told him all along, your opportunity is going to come, and when it does, be ready, and he did a phenomenal job. I could not be more proud of a guy. And our team rallied around him, and man, he deserves it. He deserves to feel really, really good about himself tonight and just how professional and mature and unselfish he's been through this whole process.
Any update on McCae? What's he working through?
So ankle injury, we could have tried to tape it up big and put him back out there, but I don't think he would have been mobile at all. He was in a pretty good bit of pain. And that's not a front that you want to, be immobile.
Yeah.
They bring it from everywhere, and we were struggling to cover it up anyway. And I told all you guys and told Coop all week, man, you need to be ready. You never know. Just be ready. Short leash for McCae if he didn't play well, if he just couldn't settle down, and if he was turning the ball over, we were going to make a change. But the injury, same thing. He stepped right out and stepped in and did a great job.
You get the 17-7 lead, and then in the fourth quarter they go on the big long drive and get it to 17-14, and then Ryan drops the punt snap and gives a short field, and really that was the only kind of semi-turnover. You had the fourth down stop in the first half, which might have, but talk about the resiliency of your guys. Just like Ike, busted coverage comes back, keeps playing. That's got to be the philosophy that you keep preaching to these guys.
Yeah, they really buy into it. No panic. Continue to be positive. You're right, man. We had opportunities to go down and finish it. We struggled. We just could not get bodies on them up front like we wanted to. We really needed to create some creases there. And we had a couple shots. We missed a shot. Coop missed one to Jalen. We had him open, but that's the way they were playing defense. You're talking about the 3rd and 1 wheel route, man. They were playing up in our face, high risk, high reward type defense, and you don't want to be throwing it downfield all day, but you had to some, and we hit some, we missed some. I love the fact that our guys just continue to fight, stayed positive, and rallied around each other. Even when Ryan fumbled the punt, man, there was nothing but, hey, let's go finish this thing. And so really proud of the guys.
That Vaughn touchdown in the first overtime, and I know Coop had a guy jumping, and so I know he had to put a little bit more air onto it, but I was like, that ball could not come down fast enough, man.
Yeah, it stayed in the air for a little bit. They made it tough. These guys made it tough. I don't know what their numbers are defensively, but the style of defense is chaotic. They blitz and fly through gaps. We missed a bunch of them tonight. We creased a few, but, man, they make it extremely difficult. And you're right, he had guys in his face. Both of them did a good bit of the night. And we missed a few wide opens, but, man, when we had to hit a couple, that the way they played set us up to be able to get to that play. We've been working that since fall camp and haven't had to call it yet. But tonight, it in two different situations from two different kind of looks, we got it both, and they were huge. They could not have been any bigger plays for us.
You're right, Coach. 12 TFLs, 5 sacks given up. I mean, they are.
That's the way it felt too. That's the way it felt. It was like, man, can we just get on track? And that's their nature. But then, you'll create some explosives too. So you got to give the guys credit for, as you said, staying with it and not panicking and finding a way to get it done.
So, as you get in the locker room, then, what's that feeling like, and what does this win mean for your guys?
Oh, it's huge. Nobody wants to be 3 for 3 down the stretch trying to battle to get in a bowl. You want to have at least a little breathing room, and it doesn't get any easier. I mean, everybody you play can beat you. I think the way we won on the road with everything, it's hard to quantify, but that's a huge win. That's a huge – throw the records out of the win. I don't care about records. Going on the road, as we saw all across the country today, going on the road and winning a game in that manner is a huge boost for our guys. As you guys know, a 5-hour delay yesterday and with the plane. I mean, they went through – this was not a normal trip. So, I mean, I think there's just huge residual benefits from getting a win here on the road.
So, Elliot Nimrod did not make the trip. Ryan Marks was kickoff. Testa had field goals. I know a lot of that stuff has to, stay between you and him, but what's the status with him? Will he be available, or what's the process there?
Yeah, barring any issues, when we get back, he should be back with the team. He was suspended for a game with choices that he made off the field that he can't make, and so we moved on. He handled it well. He took ownership of his mistakes, and we moved forward. And I would anticipate him back, barring any other issues, and he'll do what he needs to do. So I thought the guys handled it well. We missed a field goal that I think he could have made, and so for us to be able to get the win, that's huge. But it just goes to show, man, somebody else has got to be ready to step up. Could have been an injury, could have been anything, and somebody else is going to have to step in and do their job.
Hey, Coach, I know we talk a lot about the offense and we talk about their defense and how disruptive they were, but how about your guys on that defensive side? I know you talked about simplifying a little bit this week, kind of stayed in that base 4 down front and kept it a little bit more simple and kept it contained here tonight. I thought your defense played probably their best game of the year.
Well, absolutely. I think this one and maybe the Colorado State game and all the way back to even maybe how they played against Iowa have been probably the 3 best games. I thought we don't win the game without how they played. They did a phenomenal job of keeping us in there, keeping even the 4th and 1. We go for the 4th and a foot early in the game, and they're able to keep from getting points. I mean, that's aggressive, obviously, but we feel like if we can't get a yard anywhere on the field, we don't deserve to win. And kind of fortunate we're able to come back and get that. They did a phenomenal job. It wasn't perfect. We had some mistakes, gave up the big run on 3rd short, and obviously the busted coverage, but all in all, their ability to be physical, to kind of hang in there, even though we struggled to get pass rush at times. We played tackled physical. I thought they played one of their best games, absolutely.
Well, Coach, we got a lot to talk about. This game, we could spend an hour breaking this thing down from every angle, but you and I and Kevin have to go get on a plane and sit for 5 hours on a runway somewhere. So,
no, we're going home this time. We're going home. We're going to be positive.
and a big opportunity next week against Nevada to get back to 500.
Yeah, we need it bad, and I love that we're going to be at home. I don't take that for granted at all. I don't know how theirs ended up tonight, but man, every win right now is huge, and so we need folks to show up, support this group. We're going to keep working to get better, and we're going to claw our way, hopefully to another win and get one step closer to a bowl game. But man, we'd love to have people there.
Let's pack that thing and let's go. Coach, congratulations. Couldn't be happier for you. Let's do it again next week, okay?
All right, we'll see you soon, guys.
There he is, Blake Anderson, head coach of the Aggies and head coach of the winning Aggie team. All right, Siegfried and Jensen serving the Utah community for over 30 years. Have won $1.2 billion for their clients. I want to thank them for their support of Aggie athletics. Kevin and I will hand out some awards coming up next, and then we'll wrap this thing up and hit the road. Hopefully we get in the air. You're listening to Aggie football. Utah State wins 32-24.
Covering Aggie football like no one else does. News Talk KVNU Logan, 102 FM and 610 AM. The home for USU Aggie fans. The game is over. And now KVNU Aggie Game Day continues with Aggie Call, the complete recap on all the action of your Utah State Aggies. We want your comments and questions about today's game. The phone line is 435-753-KVNU. The text line is 435-339-0321. Plus, more interviews and insights are coming as we break down the Aggie action with you and the Aggie Nation. Aggie Game Day is brought to you by Daryl's Appliance, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Golden Spike Electric, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, My Mattress, Riverwoods Conference Center, Prodigy Brewing, The Advocates, Cache Valley Bank, Aegis Healthcare. It's KVNU Aggie Call with Al Lewis and Eric Branson.
And Ryan Boehm is with us tonight as well, as the Utah State Aggies have their first overtime game in 6 seasons. You have to go back to the bowl game when they lost to New Mexico State 26-20. They're now 2-2 in double overtime games as they win in double overtime tonight. If you did not hear, 32-24 was the final score in this game tonight. As Utah State again scores in the second overtime, it's a 20-yard run by Robert Briggs on a 2nd down and 5. You have to go for 2, and they run kind of a fly sweep around, and Terrell Vaughn throws the ball up in the air. Brock Lane goes up and grabs it with defenders around him for 2 points. Then San Diego State gets one last chance to score, and Ike Larson did make the play on 2nd down, and then he made the interception on the 4th down play, and Utah State wins it tonight. So I got Eric Franson and Ryan Boehm with me tonight. Let's start with Eric first tonight. Eric, your thoughts on the Aggies pulling this game out against the Aztecs of San Diego State and staying bowl eligible?
Whew, holy cow, what a game. I mean, they're just as kind of a typical Aggies, right? They kind of get things going in the second half. But what about Cooper Legas? Great job kind of coming in, settling things down for the team and stretching the field. I mean, he's shown the ability that when he's in, he's going to go and stretch the field and go deep. And he continued to do that. The defense started to make some plays when they needed to. But man, until the very end, it was just we were on the edge of our seats, not sure what was going to happen. But this was a really, really big win. It was a must-win game for USU, and I'm glad they got it.
Until they missed the field goal in the fourth quarter, I thought they were in control and maybe were going to run away with it. They missed that, and then they were able to drive down the field in about 4 minutes and score, make it back to a one-score game, and then we fumbled a snap on the punt and all that. But Cooper Legas, you just bring him up. Besides what he did, that run in the first overtime on the 2nd down play was a big play to get the Aggies out of a hole a little bit. And Ryan Boehm, thanks for being back with us tonight to talk a little bit about a great, really ends up being an Aggie win they had to have, and they got it done.
Hey, that was an entertaining football game. I mean, the first half we certainly didn't play our best, but in the second half, offensively we moved the ball. We came up with enough plays defensively, and then in overtime we looked really good on both sides of the ball. So obviously outside of a busted coverage by Ike in that one, but yeah, it's an exciting football game, one we needed. Puts us in a great position to come home next week, play Nevada, get back to 500, and then have a little cushion to get to 6 wins. So props to a lot of different people. I think great contributions across the board. It wasn't like one, other than maybe Cooper Legas and the way he played, there wasn't one guy that really carried the team or made – it wasn't Royals for 4 touchdowns. It was like a great team effort across the board. And just an exciting game to watch.
It was really something. It's interesting how you just see these things happen. For some reason, at the end of games, teams can move the ball, make things happen. You get to overtime, and you can score touchdowns when you look like you're struggling like crazy to do that. Tell you what, I think the biggest thing that helped San Diego State on their first score was they kept getting penalties to spread out the field a little bit to be able to throw that long pass. Because if it's condensed at the 10-yard line where they start with the first PI, I think it's harder for them to score than it is from 27 yards or whatever it was.
Yeah, sometimes, being, first and goal, which they were, it really does condense the field. It allows you to run, some different coverages. You don't have to worry about getting beat over the top. So, yeah, having a little more space does help sometimes for the pass game.
And again, the Utah State defense, we're going to talk about, 32-24 sounds like the offense, and they did get 400 yards out of the game. Get 171 running the ball, 121 for them. And, Eric, I really felt like going into the week, we thought you had to really stop Maiden, the quarterback. He threw the ball, but he didn't seem to want to run today. I don't know if that was a new adjustment they tried to make. And other than a couple of big runs that Sutton got, Utah State did a pretty good job against the run in this game, too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was a big worry about another mobile quarterback who can extend a play, scramble for some yards, but he really didn't. And I thought that the Utah State kind of struggled getting pressure on him a little bit, but at least they gobbled up those lanes and made it tough for them to run much outside of really that one run, like you said, the 62-yard one by Sutton. So a lot of credit to that defensive front. Coach Anderson talked about it. Ike Larson gave them credit. That was kind of a surprise to see Utah State do as well as they did with stopping the run and just being disruptive in their run defense.
And the other thing, Eric, is you and I have watched all the games and talked about them all afterwards. Getting Terrell Vaughn back into the game in some ways. And he passed the ball for the 2-point play, but he made some catches. He got a touchdown in the overtime. You need to get him back into it. He had the one kickoff return even that was exciting in this game too.
He's too explosive not to get involved. Some teams kind of like the film is out on USU. They're so good when they're explosive. And so San Jose was daring Utah State to beat them in the middle of the field, and they struggled with doing that. San Diego State, a little bit different mentality defensively, and so some of those opportunities were there for USU to go a little bit more vertical. But yeah, get the ball in your playmakers' hands, let them go to work, and thank goodness they were able to do that enough times to get the win.
Booth, a nice run. Briggs, a nice run. We've got the weapons. Again, let's get them in the hands. And MJ did come back after it looked like he might have got hurt in the game for some. He had 13 tackles tonight. Lots of things to talk about. Again, it's your show, though. That's the most important thing. So we'll have Eric Franson watch the text line for us. Again, that is 435-339-0321. If you'd like to make comments about the game, ask questions of Ryan about football, ask questions or comments you saw about the game, you can call us at 753-KVNU, 753-5868, and we'll take your phone calls as well. Let me mention Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning. Right now, they are taking, again, donations, and they want to make sure that people, again, during the holiday season are taken care of. So you can get, again, as you do service in your home, give them a canned food item that they'll take to the food pantry, and you'll get a discount on some of the great service. 752-7272 to set that up. Also, Riverwoods Conference Center, appreciate them the last couple of days hosting our Logan Holiday gift show that we had from the Cache Valley Media Group, catering for any special events and taking care of it down there with conferences and weddings, receptions in the Elements Restaurant. And also, speaking of restaurants, we've got Prodigy Brewing as one of our sponsors, the family-friendly brew pub on Center Street in Logan. Remember, it's dining for the family and friends for lunch, dinner, and the Sunday brunch. And we'll be back with more. Aggies win by 8 in double overtime. And your show is on now. Aggie call postgame, 32-24 the final in double overtime for Utah State over San Diego State. This is Game Day on KVNU.
This is Justin Hamilton from Cafe Sabor and Off-Premise Catering. The holidays can be so hectic. That's why I'm so excited to make your holiday catering so simple. Maybe it's a last-minute holiday office lunch, family get-together, or corporate party. I can handle any size gathering with my Off-Premise Catering team. You'll love Cafe Sabor's favorites are Hamilton steak and seafood, prime rib, salmon, and all the trimmings. The menu is up to you. Let my Off-Premise Catering team handle your last-minute holiday event at your office, home, Cafe Sabor, or one of our many banquet facilities. Call 755-9500. That's 755-9500. Happy holidays from your friends at Cafe Sabor and your Off-Premise Catering team.
It's that first kiss, that moment in time.
This is Jarek from Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Everyone knows us as an engagement ring store, but not everyone knows about everything else we do. Custom design, our in-house laser jewelry repair. We offer fashion jewelry, charm bracelets, necklaces, earrings, birthstone jewelry, watches. We love people to just look and make a wish list. Stop in and say hi.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
This Thanksgiving, join us at Elements Restaurant for a truly classic dining experience. Elements chefs are crafting a magnificent Thanksgiving dinner that includes succulent turkey with sage gravy, creamy whipped garlic potatoes and sweet potatoes, savory cornbread dressing, green beans, and fresh baked warm rolls. And don't forget the mouthwatering desserts, including pumpkin and pecan pie. Why slave away in the kitchen when you can relax with your loved ones and savor the flavors of the season at Elements Restaurant? Open Thanksgiving from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Call now for reservations, 752-5171.
Advanced Heating and AC and Advanced Fireplace and Stove want to help local families this year with a food drive. Drop off your canned foods at Advanced Heating across from DI or hand them to one of their technicians when they come to your home for a repair. And to say thank you, the Advanced team will match all your contributions and offer a 20% discount on your next service call. Find out more at AdvancedFireplaceandStove.com or call 752-7272. Donate to Advanced Fireplace and Stove's canned food drive for local families.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
Aggie sports coverage is sponsored in part by Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special. Make it Jarek's on News Talk KVNU, where our true colors have always been Aggie blue and white.
And our game day post-game is also brought to you by The Sportsman. Remember, ski equipment, biking gear, camping supplies, and great shoes and clothing, all available Again, downtown Logan, the shopping experience from the Sportsman. Appreciate them being one of our sponsors. And not far away is Cache Valley Bank, at least their main office in downtown. They tailor solutions to meet your goals. Cache Valley Bank, and they'll always bring us our final stats on this game as well. So it's Al Lewis, it's Ryan Boehm, it's Eric Franson with us, and again, your phone calls, your texts is what we'd like to have. So the text number is 435-339-0321. Eric says he's already reading a bunch of those. So Eric, who incidentally is away from us tonight, but with family, but still joining with us, we appreciate him. So let's get to that text line.
Yeah, 5879 texting in. Cooper Legas for the win. Start that man. 6823. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of these texts. Not sure what Blake has against Cooper. And why is Cooper not our starting quarterback? 1326. Well, I'm going to read a couple of these off, then we can reply to them. But 1326, a couple of texts here. Blake Anderson takes risks, but they seem to almost always be the wrong ones. That said, the 2-point conversion call was excellent. Also, it was frustrating to hear that it was the first career touchdown for Penny, who caught the wide-open TD in the first overtime. Aggies always seem to let some random guy have a career night against us.
Well, that was his first. He hasn't had a career. I don't know if you can say your first touchdown catch is a career night. But again, like I said, I think it helped him that all of a sudden they had him backed up a little bit to where everything. And then there's obviously, as Ike said, I blew the assignment back there. I thought that was really neat that Ike would come right up and just say that, because the guys even on TV and the radio guys are all saying, hold it, was it J.D. Drew? Was it him? And he basically said it was me.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to come up and say that after you have the game winner later too. So I mean, I hope he would have done it in either scenario, but that makes it a little easier.
Yeah, it was, and he did. He did make 2 really good defensive plays on that last series, for sure.
Absolutely.
I mean, he is a playmaker, and again, it was really amazing what Ike was able to do and things like that. Now, let's get.
So, does this game solidify Cooper as the starter going forward?
Okay. What? That's obviously something that needs to come up. Well, what do you think, Ryan? You were one who said earlier you would start Hillstead when it kind of started to happen a little bit earlier.
I mean, I've got to give credit where credit's due, and Legas came in and he played fantastic for us. For some reason, I think he plays better coming off the bench.
Well, see, my point. I told you that didn't I, before we started. His shining moments, L.A. Bowl off the bench, UConn off the bench. I mean, he had some good performances, like Colorado State game was good and things like that he won at starter last year, too. But his real shiny performances now are 3 times off the bench.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not normal in football to have like a sixth man type of thing like you would in basketball, but for some reason, I don't know if it's the pressure leading up or if it's the reps with the ones or something, but it appears that in the first quarter or the first few possessions he's just not settled. But then after that, he gets in the zone and just starts throwing dimes and making great decisions. And so you can't argue with what he did in the second half. I still don't know if it is definitive that he's the starting quarterback. But maybe we play Hillstead for a quarter and a half, and then we throw Legas in there and see if he's rolling.
Doesn't it seem like, Eric, as your observation, it doesn't make any difference who's been the quarterback the first about 2 or 3 series the Aggies have in a game, any game. We don't seem to get much out of it.
Yeah, I know, that's true. It's just they're always historically, at least this season, maybe even going back a bit further, just a slow starting team. So it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is in the beginning. So maybe it doesn't matter if Cooper starts, put McCae in for a series and then bench him, and then have Cooper come in and win the game.
Because really, for the first 3 series, I wrote this down. It was Hillstead. He'd gone 6 for 7 for 25 yards. So that's what the passing was for the first 3 series. He only threw for 62 while he was in there before he got hurt. And again, it was, it's unfortunate that, and I don't want anybody to get hurt badly. He had taken us down to where we finally had a field goal to make the game 7-3 at that particular point. Of course, that's the way it ended up at the end of the first half. And he was on that drive, where he got hurt and Legas had to come in. And immediately it looked like they just ran a couple of running plays after Legas came in. They didn't even actually throw him until almost into the second half is really when Cooper started to really throw the ball around a little bit.
And I guess, regardless of who's the starter next week, what a privilege, frankly, to have two guys that can go out and perform. And to know that whichever guy, Coach Anderson decides to go with, there's a fantastic second option if something happens to them or they get hurt or they're just struggling. So, that's a pretty good situation to be in.
Because Coach Anderson made a comment a few minutes ago, and Ryan, you're my veteran athlete in this group. Eric and I, if you saw us athletically, you wouldn't have to worry. Okay, but as an athlete, if you're Cooper Legas, what you have gone through here at Utah State, thinking you win the Los Angeles Bowl, you get a chance to compete. Logan Bonner doesn't do anything the next year in the preseason, and he's already the quarterback again without any of the preseason and offseason. And then you eventually come in and help out when he gets hurt and things like that. Then you think you've got the job, and then all of a sudden they take it away from you. And then you come back, and then you have really two good games against Colorado State and Fresno State, yardage-wise. There were some mistakes, but some good things got done, and all of a sudden you're back out again. As an athlete, you're probably gone, aren't you?
Yeah, it's super difficult what he's been through. He's obviously a competitor. He's been a winner his entire life in all the different aspects athletically. So there's no question that when he's not the guy, he's on the bench, he's taking second, team reps, that is eating him up. But it shows really his resiliency and the person that he is, that he's willing to stay focused. He's willing to, eat some humble pie but not be satisfied with it and not become resentful and bitter. As Coach Anderson mentioned, it would be easy for him to shut it down, get angry, and, not be ready when his opportunity comes forward. So, serious kudos to him as a person and as a competitor. And, he deserves all the praise he's getting right now. And if that means he's the starter next week, he deserves it. I don't know if that's the case, but he deserves any praise that he's getting right now. He deserves to be able to celebrate with his team and get love from them, because I don't know how many guys would respond the way that he has. And this has happened several times now to him. So, this is just who he is.
And Robert Briggs, who they interviewed after the game, he couldn't have been more resounding about how much he and the team love Cooper Legas. Okay, Eric, 339-0321 is the text line number. And it's brought to you by S.E. Needham Jewelers Postgame, where couples throughout Utah purchase their diamond engagement ring sets. And what else you got on the text line? We can go a few more, and then we'll take a break.
Yeah, I got a numbers, more text coming through. This is from 2444. What a finish by the Aggies. We definitely made things more interesting down the stretch than we needed to, but I'm glad we were able to pull it out. On a side note, I still can't comprehend how Coach Anderson thinks that Hillstead is a better option at quarterback than Legas, but hopefully tonight was enough to change his mind for the rest of the season. 6021 echoing a similar sentiment. Coach made a mistake in not starting Legas this game. Legas needs to be the starter the rest of the year. If not, Coach should be fired. How many chances does he have to prove? 5633 texting in. I'm not a fan of NIL, but it's a reality, so let's pay Ike Larson to stay here. 9315 texting in. I feel like in the last 3 minutes of the game, we were making play calls to not lose instead of making play calls to win tonight. It seems like we try to change who we are in the last 3 minutes of games like this one, really mess up our rhythm and fast play. And I could see changing it up if we had 2-score leads at the last minute of the game. But up 3, you need scores to win or not go to overtime. Am I right in thinking of this?
Okay, now let me just mention what happened there when, again, we did get the ball there with 4:45 left to play, and we were up again by the 3-point margin you're talking about. And we have the ball at the San Diego State 44-yard line, and we ran 3-play running plays right there instead of trying to throw or trying to do anything else at that particular point. So there could be a little bit of validity to that. Plus, we had, I think, a timeout towards the end, even after they'd scored. Well, it was 36 seconds. We ran 2 more running plays and didn't try to do anything even there at the end of regulation time. Although we're down, we didn't have a good kicker tonight. William Testa is not as efficient as Elliot Nimrod. If you missed it, Elliot Nimrod, again, there was some kind of team rule violation that he had, and he was suspended for a game, didn't even make the trip in the game.
Yeah, so, the fact that we didn't try and move the ball with 36 seconds. I think that was the right move. They're in a serious, prevent situation.
Way back,
You have a bigger probability of making a mistake, throwing a pick, and then them kicking a field goal and losing the game. So that made perfect sense to me. But I agree that I felt like we got really conservative when we got the ball with 4 minutes to go. Certainly, you want to run the clock. So I understand.
And we did a little bit.
Yeah, I understand the desire to run the ball. But if you watched, their defense, San Diego State's defense, as we're about to snap the ball, they've got 7-8 guys coming hard. So there are ways to throw the ball like a run. You run a little swing pass. We do a ton of that, wide receiver screen type work. That's the scenario where I think we need to run some of those type of plays, because there's no chance to run the ball when they have a run blitz on and you have 8 guys coming down. We only have 5 guys to block. So there's no chance for our running backs in those scenarios. And I'm not saying we don't want to run the clock, because we do, but I think we could still be a little more aggressive, or at least be RPO or something like that gives us the opportunity to take advantage of their aggressiveness instead of just running it right into them, 3 plays in a row, and then kicking the ball back to them with 2 minutes and timeouts and everything like we did. So I was a little frustrated and felt like we gave them an opportunity to go down and win. And if we're really honest, they should have won the football game.
The guy was wide open.
He was wide open. I mean, another blown coverage. That tight end should have caught that to win the game. And so, the reality is us not getting first downs at the end of the fourth quarter should have cost us the game.
Because after we were ahead 17-7 with Booth running in for his 5th touchdown of the year on that zone read from 19 yards out, our next possessions, 3 and out. There's an intentional grounding in that one. The next series we have is 3 and out, and we tried 3 passes after we returned the ball to midfield. Remember, on that series, it didn't work. So then the next series, we ran the 3 plays. We did get 1 first down in there by penalty in that last time we had it, and then the fumbled snap when we tried to punt the ball away. It gave them the opportunity to drive 9 plays, 49 yards to kick the field goal and tie the game. And like you're saying, wide open on the one play from the 12-yard line when the guy was wide open in the end zone. Now, Eric, you brought up this week with the coach the whole thing about we got to pay Ike Larson because he's down at the University of Utah where they're giving away trucks, and he loves trucks. And you brought up that he was there watching that game on the sidelines down there in Salt Lake.
Yeah, and Coach didn't seem to be too bothered by it. And I guess we found out there were more players down there than we realized. But Coach made it very clear he loves Ike, and Ike has made it clear before that he loves Coach Anderson. But sometimes that's not enough. So we'll have to see how that plays out in the offseason.
Because, he's making plays now with his ability that not just everybody in the country that needs a defensive back would love to have him. Look at what he did tonight. He tackled the guy on the fake punt the first time. He's just running through a gap to maybe block a punt. And he also was the guy who tackled him when he was trying to run the other side around on the fake punt further down the field the one time. He made both of those plays on special teams, too.
Yeah, because, at the Division I level, like your safeties, they're all fast. They're all athletic. So from that perspective, it's like a dime a dozen. But the ability to make a play like he does, that's what differentiates him. It's not just that he's fast, that he's just that he's athletic, just that he's competitive. It's that he has a nose for the ball. He has that it factor that he just always seems to be where he needs to be to make a play. And he's not afraid of the moment. And this is the second time I think he's made a pick to seal a game for us at this point. And so there's no question that people are going to call, and there are plenty of Power 5 teams that would love to have him play. University of Utah, you name it, there's going to be suitors coming for him. And yeah, that's right. We're going to have to come up with some money. Luckily, he's got family here. We've got, some things on our side. I'm sure he would probably want to stay, but if the economics get too far out of reach, then, what can you say?
And we have no idea what's going to happen with economics because there's some things that even the schools would like to have some kind of regulations put on by government because it can't be put on by schools because that's already been proven in court. They can't do that. So it's got to be some kind of national laws or legislation or things like that or state laws and legislation, I guess it comes in.
There's stuff going through the courts now that may say that these schools have to pay the athletes, NCAA, and their conferences need to divvy up more of that TV revenue to the athletes themselves. Who knows? There's a lot that can still change.
There really is. All right, again, we're brought to you post-game by DD Auto and Salvage, Cache Valley's #1 place to get the most money for your junk vehicles, scrap metal. Also brought to you by Primrose Home Care and Hospice, exceptional home care comfort in the comfort of your own home. And Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Speaking of trucks and all, they're in Montpelier, Idaho. Their community over there is growing and changing and expanding, and they're now serving people not only there, but Wyoming and over here in Utah as well. The new Liberty Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Montpelier with their warranty forever. Thanks for joining with us. 32-24 Aggies double overtime winners. First double overtime they've won. They're 2-2 now in double overtimes, but they lost the last time they were in overtime in that bowl game. But that's been 6 seasons ago. So your calls, your texts, 753-KVNU, and the text line is 339-0321. Back with more.
The Advocates care about your cycling accident and have attorneys who are fellow riders. They understand the risks you face when you ride, and they want to see you get back on your bike and out on the road. If you were hit while enjoying a leisurely ride or training for the next big cycling race, the Advocates Injury Attorneys can help. We are available 24/7 and we don't get paid unless we win your case. Chat anytime at utahadvocates.com or call 801-355-5550 today. Cyclists deserve an advocate.
Adams Wealth Advisors is proud to announce that they've been named as one of the best financial advisory firms in the country by USA Today. Start maximizing your wealth potential with a team of experienced advisors who specialize in working with high net worth individuals. Let Adams Wealth Advisors help you achieve your financial goals with a personalized approach to investment management and planning. For more information on how Adams Wealth Advisors can help you achieve your financial goals, go to adamswealthadvisors.com. That's adamswealthadvisors.com.
Beezer Lock & Key specializes in securing your world with their expertise in locks, keys, and hardware. Every aspect of their services is meticulously tailored to ensure your safety. They offer a vast selection of hardware brands and access control options along with custom master key systems. With Beezer Lock & Key, you have control of your facility's access 24/7. For 28 years, Beezer has provided top-notch security solutions that stand unmatched in the industry. Visit 4th North, 1st West, and Logan or go to beezerlock.com to discover more.
This is Ryan, My Mattress. Thanks to you, we're the #1 purple mattress dealer in northern Utah. But there's a store down in Ogden that we're neck and neck with. I'll make you a deal. If you buy a purple mattress today, I will sell it to you for less than anyone in the country. That includes online or any store, plus you get to lay on it and try it out. You've got to come in today to either of our Cache Valley locations, North Store by Red Balloon Toys and South Store by Big 5 Sports. Come buy a purple mattress for lower than anywhere in the country. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally? Only at My Mattress.
Prodigy Brewing is the perfect place to meet up with family and friends this holiday season. Whether you're sipping on a carefully crafted brew, enjoying a delicious juicy burger, or biting into a sizzling wood fire pizza, Prodigy Brewing is the place to be. Come in for Trivia Tuesdays or with friends and family to celebrate the season. Voted best craft beer and bar and grill in northern Utah. Cheers to making unforgettable memories at Prodigy Brewing on Center Street in downtown Logan. Prodigy Brewing, extraordinary service and family friendly.
The Aggies are always #1 here. It's KVNU Game Day with the voice of the Aggies, Al Lewis, Eric Branson, and Ryan Bone.
I wanted to check the Mountain West scoreboard for all of you besides the Aggies' 32-24 double overtime game. But we just had an amazing thing happen in the Fresno State-Boise State game tonight. I mean, Boise just scored right at the end of the first half, and they had to kick off. At Fresno State, it looks like it's just running back for a touchdown, right, Ryan?
It looks like with no time on the clock, Fresno runs it back for a touchdown.
They might lead 20-10 at the half, where it looked like it was going to be 13-10.
Unbelievable.
You never see that at the end of a game or end of a half or anything like that. And the guy looked like he had him on the sidelines for Boise State, and he didn't throw him out of bounds.
The kicker could have taking him out on the 10-yard line and just totally whiffed.
He did not go out of bounds. There's the PAT. So at the end of the first half, Fresno State 20-10 over Boise State. Boise 4-4. We were just talking about this. If they lose this game, they still got Air Force to play, still got us to play. They could be in bowl game jeopardy. The Aggies, of course, still have to win a couple more games after tonight's double overtime game, too. So this could be interesting. Already bowl eligible in our league are Air Force, Fresno State, UNLV, and Wyoming with the win last night. And then Fresno State's already there with no matter what happens tonight. But earlier today, Hawaii did beat Nevada at Reno, 27-14. UNLV throttled New Mexico, 56-14. And then Air Force did beat Air Force lost to Army, 23-3. Army won at Denver at the Bronco Stadium today. And we talked about it with Mike Favero a couple weeks ago, where the academies are the only ones who can beat the Air Force can't move the ball on Army and Navy like they can against everybody else because they know they run the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. So, again, in the conference standings now, everybody has at least a win with Hawaii winning today. And then New Mexico, San Diego State, and Colorado State only have one win tied with Hawaii. Aggies are now at 2-3. Nevada is 2-3, who will be here. And then the other teams have at least 3 conference wins. And then West Virginia beat BYU today 37-7. Utah did easily beat Arizona State, so that gets you updated on all of that. Let's go back to Eric Franson on our text line. Let's make the text line brought to you right now by the Advocates, the injury attorneys. You can call 801-355-5550. Chat online, UtahAdvocates.com. Remember, the phone line's available too, 753-KVNU. But what else in the text line tonight, Eric?
Yeah, I got a bunch of other texts coming through. I'll try to get to these. 5452. Eric, are you in the bathroom or a closet?
Definitely. We're wondering the same thing. But.
Yeah, no, I tried to move to a different spot.
You don't want to make noise around your family or around your house or whatever that kind of stuff, right?
So I try to reposition myself here. 1326. Let's see, a couple of texts here. Find this game would have been much better on the full Fox than that BYU beatdown. It was wild and sloppy, but highly entertaining.
Well, eventually it was wildly. Let's face it, first half, I don't think any of us thought it was really wildly entertaining.
Yeah, no, it really wasn't until that fourth quarter that it got. 6591. Fix your mic. You're talking in the tunnel. Thank you. I've tried to adjust that.
Yeah, I mean, Eric's out on the road. It's nice enough he even joins with us, folks, let alone,
Let's see, 8968. Let's face it, no matter who plays quarterback for the Aggies, we stink in the first quarter.
It's true.
That's
third time this year we've been tied at the end of the first quarter. Tonight's the first time it was 0-0. It was 7-7 Idaho State, 7-7 in the Fresno State game, incidentally.
Let's see, 6823 asking, has Hillstead won a game? And I think they all played better with Coop. It seems like the team seems to respond a little bit better with Cooper Legas. I don't know if Coop just understands his team better, because of the time in the program, he just has a feel for where they are, where they need to be. It's obvious that they had a full bye week to still work on things, and Coach said, look, it's going to be 50-50. And it was Hillstead who trotted out there to take the first snaps and stayed with the team until he was forced out. So there's clearly things that he sees in McCae that he believes gives him a better chance to win. But when it comes down to it, I mean, the wins have come at the hands of Cooper Legas, not McCae Hillstead.
They have it because, I mean, he did start the UConn game but didn't finish the UConn game that we won. And the other games he started were San Jose State, and then the other game was James Madison. And we lost both of those games, although, so, yeah.
Look at James Madison. They're 8-0.
Yeah.
And
they're playing for pride because they can't go to a bowl game. They can't go to anything, but they're getting a national ranking and a situation and putting themselves on the map for the future in the South. They're going to have a program that people are going to be looking at.
Yep, totally.
And the Aggies will have to go back there. As I recall, I don't think it's next year. I think it's 2 years, I think, off the top of my head. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know about that scheduling agreement. A couple more texts rolling through. 9315 wondering how much NIL will it cost us to clone Ike and put him in multiple spots on the field?
Because he wants to play receiver if they'll let him.
Let's see, 8387 texting in. When we got the ball up 10 in the fourth quarter on their 25 and didn't score, it was brutal. Glad the players saved the game despite the coaching at times. Yeah, that when they ran that fake punt and they snuffed it out and stopped them, that was a golden opportunity to put the game away, and squandered that. So thankfully, it didn't come down to just that play. But that was
we took over the San Diego State 24-yard line through an incompletion. The second play, we got sacked and we got called for grounding on the very same play, so we lost the down 2. Then Briggs just ran for 14 to set up what looked like maybe a field goal, and Testa missed it from 38 yards on that.
Yeah, I mean, kickers don't do stupid stuff, so you get suspended for a game. I mean, you're kind of important.
How about both coaches tonight? They go for, it was 4th down and 9 yards to go, I think it was, on the one deal or something like that. It seemed like, well, maybe it was 4th and 3 or 4th and 4 for them when they went for their fake. And we go for the 4th and 1 early in the game and don't get it and give them the football at the Aggie 30-yard line. They eventually missed a field goal in that one. So both teams missed field goals where they gave them chances with great field position. So in the end, the coaches get out of it a little bit, I guess, with their decisions there.
Well, you can see kind of the desperation in the teams by those play calls. You wouldn't see that if the teams were 6-1 or something like that.
We did get a fake punt that worked for us though and led to our scoring drive. We did go for it. We snapped it to Switzer. He got the ball to Switzer, ran it for a first down.
Let's see, a couple more texts coming through. I want to get to these guys. 2342. Legas is not a perfect player, but we have enough of a sample size now to say that the offense runs better with him out there instead of Hillstead. Legas has more yards, more touchdowns, better completion percentage, less interceptions, better QBR, and more wins than Hillstead. The choice is clear. Kind of bizarre that Anderson seems to hold Legas to a much higher standard than the other quarterbacks during his time here.
I went through those stats before the game. It is absolutely right. He does have a better QBR ranking. He's now, again, he's thrown for more touchdowns. His ratio was 13-6. McCae Hillstead was 10-7 touchdowns to interceptions coming into this game. I mean, we threw 25 touchdowns into this game. Only Washington had thrown more touchdown passes than us in the country going into this game today. Now, they threw a bunch, I'm sure, against USC in a big win today.
Yeah, I think they put up 50, so I don't. But honestly, I think it was a lot of rushing.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of looked at it briefly, but
USC can give up a lot of yards on the ground or through the air.
Yes,
their defense is not good.
It is not.
No. Then 6591, still not happy with my mic.
Hey, you're much better now.
Does that sound better now?
Yeah.
Okay.
What you got? You got out of the closet.
Well, maybe I just repositioned something.
Okay.
So
much better.
And then 1326, and I actually got this from somebody else after the game, a screenshot of apparently an arrest situation with Elliot Nimrod driving under the influence and an improper left turn. So something that happened earlier this week, it appears.
Well,
so.
That's, I mean, it was, like the coach said, it was something off the field that he got involved in, and usually that's a law situation and some kind of deal there, so we'll have to wait and see. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, hopefully he learns from it, and it's an opportunity for him to grow and become a better person, and I'm glad that there is protocol for that, and I'm sure that he was not happy to be home and not happy to be with his team and seeing opportunities where he might have made a difference. We just hope that that's enough motivation for him to, grow up.
Yeah, Class B misdemeanor. Obviously, there's a court process here. Happened, looks like in the early hours of, would that be Thursday morning? So we'll see if what that process looks like for Elliot Nimrod. The Aggies need him.
Oh, yeah.
I think we saw it today. The Aggies need him. But if you do dumb things, then I don't care how much we need you. You have to deal with consequences.
So I'm sure in Elliot Nimrod, Ryan Marks, and William Testa, those three guys, they're grateful for how the game turned out because there were some things that they all could have been involved in that may have made a difference in this game. And isn't it interesting how kickers only stand out when either they win the game or lose the game.
For sure.
The rest of the time, you never talk about them. Nope. Just like offensive linemen, kind of.
Yep. And I mean, it's crazy to think about, dropping that punt snap, and it's Oh, as a former player, those guys, it's like, man, this is your only job. Like, all you have to do is catch the ball and kick it. So please do that.
And went right through his bread basket.
Oh, my goodness. It's such a crucial time, too. It's like, but then the interesting thing is you can't really get after him because you're going to need him again in the next series. Mm-hmm. So it's like you go pat him on the butt when you really want to punch him. Just a different breed.
And he is there, and William Testa did kick the PAT in the overtime period, and he held it, and we got that 1 point when we needed it before to go to the second overtime, too.
I'm not going to lie. I was really nervous. I was really nervous for that PAT.
But let's remember, early in the season, it was back and forth. It didn't seem like Coach was really settled on
He used them
Testa or
both.
Nimrod. They were both getting used.
Mm-hmm. They used them both.
Yeah. So let's hope that Testa kind of settles in. I mean, he got hurt. He was injured for a while, and then opportunity presented itself to get him back involved. 8824 texting in, was it ever announced why Switzer was wearing number 3 tonight, planning to use Switz on offense, and he would be in conflict with Royals?
No, they were. Well, if they can't use him because of face-on would be if offensively they couldn't have them on the field at the same time too. So I think I heard them mention somewhere along, it was either radio broadcast or TV or something, that it was in honor of something, or he changed for a particular reason for somebody. I was looking, the only other guy on our roster is Strong, who lists at number 3. He's a junior college guy. I think he's a backup defensive back or something like that. That I don't know if Javar Strong is playing, maybe, but he wears number 3, so I don't know exactly why. We'll maybe have to ask the coach Monday if he has any answer about that.
Yeah, I don't have an answer at all, so I don't know. Good question. We'll have to ask. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, 9315 sending in an old election button saying, I like Ike, saying it's election season right around the corner. So let's get it started.
Back to the 50s in the elections, and now we're bringing it back, to 73 years later. Something.
There you go.
Okay. Anything else on the text line then?
No, nothing else there. But, just one thing that kind of jumps out to me looking at this game is Utah State gave up, was it 12 tackles for loss?
Mm-hmm. And 5 sacks.
5 sacks. And they were about, and we talk about Utah State needing to be explosive to be effective. They need to be able to stretch the field. But that was about an even category. Both teams had about the same number of explosive plays. And I think this really just came down to Utah State being a team, and we've seen this even in some of their losses this season. They've proven that they're going to continue to fight. Outside of maybe the San Jose State game, they've always been able to be competitive and fight through the end. And I don't think San Diego State has been very familiar or comfortable in that situation. So I think that noting a lot of things that went wrong for USU today, they didn't let that faze them, and they were able to overcome some of their mistakes. And as Coach said afterwards, it may not look like a big win on paper, but this is a really big win for his team to win on the road in this way, especially with so many young guys on the roster.
I think that's absolutely right, too. The thing is, San Diego State was kind of they're the team that came back in this game to have a chance because it looked like they were down and out for sure in this one.
Yeah, and the reality is, we should have won when we played James Madison, Fresno. There's been several times where it was one play away from, the season being really different than it is. And this was another game that really came down to 1 or 2 plays.
Can you imagine if we're talking about the Aggie team being, 6-3 right now, rather than being, 4-5?
Totally. So, I'm sure it's a relief, a huge relief for Coach and the team to be like, God, we didn't let another one slip through our fingers. We actually pulled it out. And you never know. Something like that can completely change a season. All of a sudden, there's some swagger. We get a win next week at home against Nevada. And you just never know. We could reel off 4 in a row into a bowl game, So it's like that kind of emotional game, could be the catalyst to change the trajectory.
Okay, anything else on the text line, Eric?
Yeah, I actually just had a few more just come through.
Hold on. Can you hold on to them just a second? Let's take another break.
We can get to after the timeout.
Yeah, let's take another break. And brought to you tonight by My Mattress. That's Ryan and Travis, the sleep experts with IntelliBed and with the Purple, and they're on North Main and also, again, at 981 South Main. We have Jarek's Fine Jewelry. They're a very popular place for engagement rings. They've just had their anniversary this past month. Everybody they love to have you come by and make a wish list, make it special, make it Jarek's. And Agis, Home Health and Hospice. Again, they go above and beyond. They experience the Agis difference. Their core values are character, experience, and trust. So they can meet your healthcare needs wherever you call home. And we'll come back with more of your texts at 339-0321. Phone calls, 753-KVNU. Aggies win in double overtime over San Diego State. Back after this.
Hi, this is Ashley with LSS Insurance. Open enrollment for individual health insurance is November 1st through January 15th. Coverage through the marketplace is available with more tax credits. You could save a bunch. If you haven't qualified in the past, try again now. We will help you navigate the marketplace, understand your choices, and complete enrollment. Trying it on your own can be frustrating. Let us help. Call 752-9493. There is no cost to work with us. Having a local agent makes all the difference. Call 752-9493.
Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent with Alpine Home Medical. I'd like to invite you to learn more about us. Since 1997, we've been Utah's premier one-stop shop for home medical equipment. What sets us apart at Alpine Home Medical is the superior level of customer service. We provide home oxygen, CPAPs, wheelchairs, scooters, breast pumps, and so much more. Come on down and get to know us.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit alpinehomemedical.com.
Advanced Heating and AC and Advanced Fireplace and Stove want to help local families this year with a food drive. Drop off your canned foods at Advanced Heating across from DI or hand them to one of their technicians when they come to your home for a repair. And to say thank you, the Advanced team will match all your contributions and offer a 20% discount on your next service call. Find out more at advancedfireplaceandstove.com or call 752-7272. Donate to Advanced Fireplace and Stove's canned food drive for local families.
We're not comfortable until you are. Advanced Heating and Air.
Hello, I'm Garrett Tanner, Operations Manager at Cache Valley Bank. With 20 years of banking experience, I strive to use my knowledge to help small businesses overcome any challenges they may face, no matter how complex. My customers are important to me, and I take a genuine interest in understanding their lives. Come visit me at our mall branch or give me a call. I'd love to get to know you and show you what opening an account at Cache Valley Bank can do for you. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
Talking about Aggie football like no one else can. KVNU Game Day is back. At 6:10 a.m. The home for USU Aggie fans. Your station for the Aggies. News Talk KVNU Logan, 102 FM, 610 a.m. And on Alexa, Google, online, or the app. The home for the Aggies.
Well, we finally got it in right with not talking on top of Big Voice Guy, back and forth. We always do a Beezer Lock and Key lock of the game pregame. Remember, Beezer, they'll repair, replace all your door hardware, including your locking and latching systems. They can help home, business, and auto needs as far as you being more secure. And I thought the Utah State rushing defensive numbers and our offensive rushing numbers would tell the difference in the game. Utah State ran the ball 171 yards and San Diego State 121 yards. So I was kind of talking about that because I thought that gave our opportunity to have more chances to stay on the field. Time of possession actually ended up about even in this game. I think the Aggies had a little advantage there, which is unusual compared to how fast Utah State usually goes. But 8 for 19 on third downs. Much better. Boy, after the last game, remember, Eric, you and I, and I guess we had Mike Favero on talking about things, how bad the Aggies were on third down and they couldn't get San Jose State off the field. San Diego State was 7 for 18. I mean, they did convert a couple of them in this game, but again, Utah State. So those are the Beezer locks that kind of worked tonight for the Aggies to win in double overtime.
Yeah, third down efficiency is still not great for USU. I mean, San Diego State's was pretty similar, maybe a little bit better, but the Aggies. And Coach Anderson showing that willing to go for it on fourth down, willing to take some risks. One time it worked, a couple times it didn't, but still in the end, just it came down to Utah State making enough winning plays to get the win. A big play on defense to make it happen. Overcoming a lot of mistakes. I think there were some coaching mistakes, maybe questionable to go for it like they did early in the game, that first quarter, still on their side of the field. But still, these are two teams that were pretty even in a lot of different categories. The difference really, I think, for me was that Utah State has been in more competitive games than San Diego had. And so they weren't as phased in this one, but both teams coming into the game with kind of embarrassing losses in their last outings. So good for Utah State to get it behind them.
Ryan, we make a big deal about third down stats in games. The most important thing that helps a third down conversions is first and second down. Let's face it. You get something on first down of decent, and you usually convert third downs. Or you get something on the second down. That's what makes the difference on third downs.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this is pretty intuitive, but 3rd and 3 is a lot different play calling than a 3rd and 8, 9, 10. And it opens up so much more of your playbook. It allows you, the defense is still guessing. I mean, you can still run the ball. You can do anything in your playbook on 3rd and 3. When you have 3rd and 10, your playbook gets so much smaller. Typically, your tendencies are really accurate. Like, that's why it's so hard to convert 3rd and long, is it's difficult to run a play that they've never seen and execute it. That's just a hard thing to do. So if you're always in 3rd and long, like, the chances of you winning a game like that are just tough.
They really are. Eric, anything else in the text line there? And you had a couple you said before the break. What have you got?
Yeah, a couple more texts rolling through. 2305. The way to look at it being a big game is look at it as if the Aggies had lost it. Certainly would have been a bigger game.
Oh, yeah. The season really would have probably been almost really over. You'd kind of think, okay, we got to regroup and go into next year.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's
you'd have to win all 3 of your last games
to get bowl eligible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 1782 texting in. Does no one see that Hillstead has never, ever won a game at USU? He throws more picks, and even though the completion percentage has been similar in some games, there was less than half the yards in completions. Legas is just a better game-time quarterback.
Oh, I think we talked about that tonight, and we've gone through it and all, but it's I mean, like I said, it seems to be that case for sure. And again, it's nothing against. I think the coaches, obviously, they see something in Hillstead that they think can really be something for the future for Utah State. To be a true freshman, putting him out like this. Texas needs a quarterback right now with their guy hurt, and they haven't tried to put Manning in at all, the guy who's sitting out for them. They've gone to somebody else because they want to keep Manning for his full career at Texas and not put him in there as a freshman.
Yep.
I just want to ask a quick question of Ryan about the quarterback situation, as we've been going back and forth about Cooper Legas versus McCae Hillstead. So the Aggies had 12 or gave up 12 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. And a lot of that was in the first half, not entirely, but the role of the quarterback to be able to pick up protections and where the defense is coming and get people aligned properly. It seems that Cooper is a little bit better at that than McCae is. We can talk about arm strength or quick throws or decision making, but what about picking up what the defense is trying to do to come after you?
He should be significantly better at that than Hillstead. And that's just a function of the timing, the time that he's been in the program, the amount of film he's watched, the amount of reps he's gotten in practice. I mean, he should be much better at seeing that. And the difference in speed between a high school football game and a college Division I is unbelievable. I mean, most folks are like, well, yeah, I mean, all these kids are good, and, it shouldn't be that much of a difference. Like, it's unbelievably different in terms of the speed. And obviously defenses are much more complex. Schemes are much more complex. You've got a lot going on. So if that's happening, which I don't know because I'm not breaking down the film, but if it's happening, then yeah, some of these breakdowns could be on the quarterback. He might not be identifying the correct, because typically what the quarterback's doing is he's identifying the mic backer. So basically he's telling the running backs and the linemen who is the guy that is the person that is setting where everybody else goes. So in identifying the mic, you're telling the tailback, who he picks up. You're telling the offensive line who they have, which way they slide, etc. And so if he's struggling to identify that, then yeah, that's gonna increase the amount of pressures and sacks. Also, if they bring more guys than we can block, that's on the quarterback. He has to identify that, and he's got to get the ball out because we only have 5 guys and maybe a running back if he's not going out on a route. And so if they bring 6 and they get home, that's on him. So that very well might be the case. Again, without breaking down the film, I can't say definitively, but my gut would say that, he should be better than Hillstead in identifying protections and setting the line.
Okay, good question. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Appreciate that. 5338 texting in. I don't completely blame Marks for the muffed punt. The snap was low. It's not like it hit him in the numbers.
Oh, no. The replay looked like it was a perfect snap.
It was a little bit low.
Maybe a little low, but, I mean, it still kind of went right through the...
Definitely still catchable, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
still playable. Then it says, also, I'm proud of the Aggies for winning in a very loud and hostile environment at Crapwagon Stadium. There's more noise in my sacrament meeting.
I saw one time in the game, I think either Scott mentioned it or somebody on TV, they were talking about, the San Diego State fans are standing up, and I said to the guy who was running the game here, the fan stood up, I thought it was.
I'm just trying to understand, where did they come up with all the money to build this new stadium when nobody went to games before? Did they,
in the old San Diego Stadium, it was like nobody was there when you go to games.
Did they do a survey online that got hacked and China said they were all going to show up or something?
Snapdragon must have paid them a lot of money to put their name on it.
Like what? They just thought, okay, new stadium, now everybody will come. I just don't understand.
Now we're going to the Pac-12.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, 6649 texting in. Good win, et cetera, but it needs to be said that going for it on 4th and 1 in the first quarter, 0-0, deep in your own territory, is one of the worst coaching decisions of all time.
Yeah, and I would put then Brady Hoke with going for his fake punt and where he was about this. But it was a shock, I think, to all of us, really.
Yeah. I mean, in hindsight, yeah, it was a pretty bad call. But it will never rival the fake punt by BYU in their end zone on 4th and 30. So that's the worst call in the history of football. So let's not forget about that play.
Yes, that's very
boy.
true.
Okay.
3122. Finally used the tight ends tonight. 2-point conversion pass to a tight end.
Brock Lane, he did have a one on his hands one time in the game. I think that maybe he thought he maybe should have caught. But it's good to have him in there. Sturzer was in and caught a pass, and that seemed to get everybody going. We do need to use the tight ends. Their tight end was big in this game, and they could have caught him for a touchdown there late in the game to beat us.
Yeah, it's I think we get, we have such good receivers on the outside that it's easy for us to forget that we even have a tight end, much less, a couple of them that are, pretty good weapons. So I would agree that I think that's a part of our game that we're not taking advantage of. But you can't blame them. I mean, would I rather throw it to Brock Lane or Royals? I'm going to throw it to Royals. Sorry. But, so it's not that we got bad options otherwise.
Yep, that's absolutely right.
This is from 1326. Legas seems to run play action a lot more convincingly than Hillstead. He should, as he has more experience. And then saying the time of possession was close, but San Diego State had the ball longer.
So they did barely.
About 3 minutes.
Yeah, okay. It was going down the stretch until they maybe got those 2 drives. The Aggies actually had the edge through 3 quarters, I think it was. So
6823. Cooper is the guy and much tougher, and the team seems to play harder when Cooper's in there.
His run that he had there and got smashed late in the game before he threw the pass to get the first touchdown in the overtime, that was great. That showed a lot of guts for him because he ran and he took the hit rather than sliding or doing anything else on that play.
6021. Sounds like Ryan is like Coach and against Coop.
I'm not against Coop. Here's the thing. Is the coaches are watching him every single day. They're with him all the time. Their livelihood is on the line. So if they felt that they had a better chance of winning with Cooper in there, they would have him be the starter. So there's obviously something going on a day-to-day basis that gives them pause. Now, everyone's correct. His numbers are better. He seems to step up, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't challenge any of that. All I'm saying is this is a quarterback's coach who happens to be the head coach, who happens to call the offense, and he's saying on a consistent basis, this other guy...
I picked him 2 weeks in a row.
I've picked him so, I mean, maybe it's some bias or something. I don't know, but I think he has the most...
It's not your bias.
It's not my bias, I promise. I have no skin in the game. So, you can't deny the numbers, but there's obviously something going on. It's like if I'm the head coach and consistently in practice a kid is making the same mistakes and not doing the right things, I'm going to put somebody else in. I have to. And so it begs the question, is that happening? And then for whatever reason, he just like blossoms in the game or something. But there's something going on outside of the game that is getting coach to do this.
Mm-hmm. There has to be. Okay.
Let's see a couple more texts rolling through. 9315, maybe with some ideas as to why nobody's at the game. He says the price to park in the stadium parking lot is like $89.
Wow. I hope that's not one time. That should be at least a season pass, if not more.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah. Ride transit if you can. 2305 texting in. Let's see. What does the last 3 games for Utah State look like? Can we win all of them?
Well, Boise's trailing Fresno 20-10. They're in the second half now. And let's face it, Boise hasn't had the kind of... Did you see they held Wyoming to about 100 yards? Mm-hmm. So they can still play on D, and you're going to have a tough time moving the ball on them. You're going to have to find some way because, again, they got to run it. Genty, I think, is the number 1 running back in the conference as far as yards go. So they got weapons there. They got a Utah kid now who's playing at quarterback, and Madsen to go along with the other guy who can run the ball, the quarterback. And again, they're good on defense. So that's the biggest game. Nevada had won 2 in a row, and then today a home fell apart, and Hawaii beat them, and they didn't get much offense in the game. And then you got New Mexico, who, let's face it, they're struggling, but it's their last game of the year. They have had a horrible year, and they're going to play the day after Thanksgiving at home. You can't go in there with a big head.
No.
For our team, for sure.
No. So, I mean, we really do. We've got a chance. Certainly, Nevada and New Mexico
will be favored twice.
Yeah, we need to win those games. Boise's, a toss-up. Depending on how we play next week, who knows what Vegas says about the Boise game. But, yeah, we could definitely win out. No question.
Yeah, now Boise plays after this. They play New Mexico and then play us. So if they drop this one to go to 4 and 5, both teams, the Aggies and Boise State could both be 5 and 5, I guess, when they play. Something like that, So that could be kind of interesting.
Let's see, 6021, and this is our last text for a minute here, says, Coach stuck with Bonner for too long last year. Sorry. Well, I would agree with that.
I think we all kind of felt that.
Totally.
Bonner just was not healthy. He was just not right. And for the good of his health and for the good of the team, they needed to make the change before they did. And the only way Bonner was getting pulled was because of injury, and that's too bad. It's really unfortunate. But I think we all agree with you on that one.
I think we do. Fresno's about ready to score, leading 20-10 again in their game, incidentally. So, anything else from you, Eric? Then from the text line?
Nope, that's it for now.
Okay. We'll let you go, and we'll let Ryan go. Then we got no phone calls tonight, but we got a lot of feedback and comments, and I think we've analyzed this one pretty well this evening. It was a nice win, and guys, okay. Just quickly though, Eric, your thoughts about going against Nevada, a team that has struggled. Offensively this year for sure, it looks like, but then they did win a couple games and they beat San Diego State 6-0. So that was the last time San Diego State played, and now tonight it's 32-24 in double overtime. So just a quick thought about next week. It will be at home.
I'll be honest. I was getting a little nervous because Nevada won the game last week over New Mexico, and they were facing a Hawaii team which wasn't good. And I was a little nervous that this might be a team that's kind of finding itself, getting a little bit of momentum. coming in to take on the Aggies, but they lost to Hawaii 27-14. Hawaii is really not that good, and so Nevada still struggling there. But it's a team that's tasted some victories all of a sudden, so you can't overlook them. They're maybe not as much of a pushover as I thought earlier in the year, but Aggies should be favored to win this one, and They need a good win in a bad way. Utah State does.
And boy, it would be nice if Utah State could come home with this overtime momentum of doing some things and making some plays and come right out and jump into this game at home this next week and for the first time play a game where they really play from start to finish, right?
Yeah, play ahead.
Yeah, Ryan, wouldn't you feel the same way?
Agreed. I mean, I think we've got momentum. If we're going to do that this year, now's the time. Now's the time to do it. So I think we'll be ready. I think we'll play well, and we should win that game. But I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to my little 7th grade.
I heard you guys won your game. We were going to mention. I was going to mention that
youth football team. We won the mini bowl a couple weeks ago, and what's amazing is 4 teams from Skyview's youth football won the mini bowl in the last couple weeks. So a lot of fun. We played a South Ogden team that's Bonneville that hadn't lost in 3 years, and we beat them in the championship game, and the kids just had a fantastic time. So it's been a fun couple weeks of football.
Got to hand Green Canyon though credit. They beat the Skyview varsity team when they had the undefeated season going. To the semifinals.
They got it done.
There's a athletics renaissance going on there at Green Canyon.
Yeah, Green Canyon's doing a lot of things. And then Ridgeline won, so they're still involved. Westside won, so they're still involved. Rich won, so they're still involved, our local teams. And how about today? Utah State wins the soccer championship in the Mountain West. They win the volleyball championship, the regular season in the Mountain West, and they win the game tonight. So the blue light is on for everybody tonight up on the Old Main. I've talked about that before. The football team and, soccer winning the championship. That's the first time they've ever won the Mountain West, and they go to the NCAAs with that win. I think it's the first time since 2010 or something like that we even got into the national tournament, I think, or something like that.
It's amazing.
Great stuff. So
beaming brightly for good reason.
Yep, it should be. Okay, guys, thanks a lot very much. Ryan Baum, we'll see you then next week, Ryan, and we'll see Eric next week as well. And he won't be. I'll
be there in person, not in a bathroom or a tunnel or whatever else you place me in.
He sounds very, very good right now. So we finally figured that all out. All right, we'll come back and do the final stats and finish it up after this last break. Aggies 32-24, double overtime. Game day continues.
This Aggie broadcast is brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air, 3-time best of Northern Utah gold medalist on News Talk KVNU, where Utah State is always number one. Aggie sports coverage is sponsored in part by LSS Insurance Agency, your local Medicare and Social Security experts on News Talk KVNU, where Utah State is always number one.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Les Olson IT structured cabling is second to none. Tired of old and inefficient cabling? Have an upgrade or remodel planned? Building a new network from the ground up? We offer the very best in low voltage cabling installation, including data, phone, fiber optic, and more. Ask us how to get your free consultation today.
Les Olson IT.
Fall is here. This is Mark at the Sportsman on Main Street. I invite you into our amazing store to see the new fall collection of amazing clothing, shoes, and outerwear for women and men. We have brands like Cool, Fiore, Fjallraven, and we have brought in some new brands from Europe that you will love. Trust me, you will look truly unique in whatever you buy from the Sportsman. Come in and let us take care of you. You'll be glad you did. For over 75 years, come and see us at the Sportsman on Main in downtown Logan with tons of parking in the back.
Utah State Aggie Sports is sponsored by Prodigy Brewing, Logan's family-friendly brew pub. Best of Northern Utah winner on News Talk KVNU.
Just a shout out to Les Olson Company, Les Olson IT, the best defense for your network, everything from copiers to outsourced IT servicing. LSS Insurance, they want to talk to you If you need help with changing Medicare coverage right now, do you need to get into insurance? If you're uninsured with health insurance, they can help you. LSS Insurance. And boy, it was a big day at Daryl's Appliance, one of our good sponsors today. They had a big Black Friday sale that you might have missed out on. But you know what? If you buy from Daryl's, no risk extended warranty. If you don't use the warranty over 5 years, they'll actually give you the money back from that, and their warranties cover everything. No crazy copays. And they have the best names there, and free delivery and installation as well for everything they sell. We always appreciate all of our sponsors here. We do have Cache Valley Bank, who always brings you the stats as the Aggies win 32-24 in double overtime. Personalized attention. And remember, it's Cache Valley Bank here to support you and be your partner along the way. The Aggies had 400 yards of offense to the Aztecs 384, 171 on the ground, 229 in the air. Cooper Legas was 11 for 15, 167 yards and 2 scores. Hillstead, before he went out, did have the numbers of, 12 of 16, but 62 yards in the game. So the Aggies very efficient with their passing when they threw it, and still able to run at 171 yards. Booth had 77 and a touchdown. Briggs had 59, a touchdown, that big one for Briggs in the second overtime was the winning score in the game, and then the 2-point play after that made it an 8-point lead, and then the Aggies pick off their pass play. Ike Larson making the interception his 4th of the year. Ike also had 8 tackles. MJ Tafisi, 13. He is number 8 in the country in tackles, and he's amazing. Just continues to make plays. And guys who played with it, Washington also are pretty good guys on that other side. That McDonald guy, I think it's Cooper McDonald or something, he made some plays for them tonight in the game. They did have the 5 sacks, 12 tackles for a loss that Eric mentioned. Aggies had 1 sack, 6 tackles for a loss. Brock Lane, 2 for 19 catching, but caught the 2-point pass play. And again, Terrell Vaughn, 8 catches, 91 yards, touchdown in the overtime. He also, again, threw the 2-point play. And Royals, 8 for 87, able to get away on a 50-yard play. The Aggies now have 11 of those this year, 50-yard pass plays or more for scores. And I think Royals now has 11 touchdowns. And Vaughn now has 9 with the catches they had in the game tonight. And the Aggies had 20 first downs to 17, so that finishes it up. So Fresno State's ahead 27-10 over Boise State in the last game going in our conference tonight. Aggie basketball comes back on Monday night for the opener against South Dakota Mines. I'm thinking of SD. South Dakota Mines. They are like the High Rollers or the Hard Rocks or something like that. I can't remember exactly their nickname. We'll talk about that Monday night. Jalen Moore and I will be on at 6:30. The game is at 7:30 Monday because there will be volleyball again at 3:30 on Monday for the regular season champions in the Mountain West. The Aggies will be at home Monday in the Estes Center at 3:30, and then the Spectrum at 7:30 for basketball. Monday night, that'll be the only game at 7:30 unless television decides there'll be some game there the rest of the season. So we'll be on at 6:30. We'll take it up to 7:15, and then we'll join Scott Gerard and Spencer Nelson with the basketball broadcast. And then John Russell will join me after the game. So Jalen Moore before the game. John will be on after the game. We will take your texts and your calls as well. We'll do Aggie Call postgame and basketball as well. We always do appreciate you very much. And one more mention of a sponsor tonight. Let me mention Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat. From runny noses to itchy eyes, but also, how about headaches and migraines? They have lots of good ideas to help you in those areas and more. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat. So for Eric and for Ryan and for all of the broadcast people that we've had that take care of things, the sponsors make it possible. Craig Hissler before the game helping me out and all. Al Lewis, hope you've enjoyed it. We'll join the following program in progress on KVNU tonight. We hope you have the rest of a good weekend. Remember, when you go to bed tonight, set your clock back an hour. You get an extra hour of sleep. Daylight savings time ending tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. So we're inside 4 hours.
Of a small, predominantly black community.